Welcome to my LGBT lesbian channel. The series Checkmate, Stripper and Dance for Me are voiced for you in full history. Thank you for your comments, reactions and subscription to my channel. Have a nice day everyone. Keep focus, I'll transfer the amount. -1 said. The adrenaline that ran through my veins in that moment provided me an almost indescribable pleasure. The frenzy of making that moment happen was taking over me. The numbers of Collins Enterprises account were there, right in front of me shining. "Oh, Christopher, you have no idea who you messed with," I whispered as I typed the amount I wanted. "A little faster, the time will end," Normani exclaimed nervously. "You'll pay for what you did." I confirmed the transfer, seeing the small stripe being filled quickly, and consequently a message box with the following sentence, "Transfer complete." Done, we've moved some squares. Soon I'll get to the king. Flashback off. Dinah has been acting a bit like a rebel in the last few days. I murmured grudgingly. It has been a few weeks that my relationship with Dinah was somewhat fragile. The last time we met, any subject boiled down to how our plan could go wrong with my decisions. All that was caused by the idea that Lauren's presence and my protection regarding her would put everything on the line. "Look who's talking, right, Camilla?" She got up with a sarcastic smile on her face. "You've been working alone lately." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, trying to keep calm. I brought the glass of whiskey to my lips, letting the cold liquid come into contact with my mouth. "None of my decisions were executed without your knowledge. Every single one of them went through you, Dinah." She let out a sarcastic laugh. "I have to agree, but we can't forget that you didn't give me the right to revoke them." "They don't need to be revoked. They had to be like this. Nothing went wrong." We stared at each other in the center of the room, without looking away. There was a conflict of ideas, of opinions, which wouldn't be changed. The initial plan had been partially modified at the last minute, because of Lauren's interference. They had to be like that? We really had to lose $5 million because of your little romance? I huffed, irritated by the younger one's insistence to resort to the unnecessary arguments about that subject. Flashback on. After seeing the way how Lauren had been deeply humiliated by Christopher, right after the second theft of $5 million, something inside me wanted to help her, wanted her to show that man that she was capable of moving forward with that case. But helping Lauren was the same as moving back a square on the board game. Would I be willing to do that? "Damn it, Camilla, don't interfere, just leave it alone," I murmured to myself as I brought the cigarette to my lips. I gave a deep drag, and after a few seconds I let the smoke escape my lips in a soft puff. I looked into the room, seeing Lauren lying in the bed that was Christopher's, or rather, ours. The young woman was sleeping serenely after a cozy dinner and delightful hours of fucking wonderful sex. My head was buzzing with ideas that lingered after many conversations. The $5 million had been our biggest amount so far, our greatest asset. And of course, we had the intention to take much more, enough to leave Christopher in misery, but everything had to be done with calmness and patience. Helping Lauren was putting our work down the drain, but something in me told me that it was the right thing to do. "You'll forgive me for this," I murmured as I entered the room, grabbing my phone. I dialed Dinah's number, and within seconds she answered with a sleepy voice. "Did something happen?" my best friend asked. "Yes, I need you to do something important." "What is so important that it couldn't wait to be told tomorrow?" I sighed and gave another drag on the small cigarette between my fingers. "I don't want you to take the money from Hyder's account. I said as I let out the smoke again. A brief silence hovered during the call. Dinah sighed heavily on the other side, making me wonder if she had fallen asleep again. Are you going crazy? She asked incredulously. You know that account is only a passage. Soon we'll share the amount to our accounts abroad. I know, Dinah, but I want it to stay there. And I want you to tell Normani to unblock the system of the laptop that Lauren discovered. You are drunk, aren't you? Lauren having discovered that laptop was a mistake on our part. We forgot that shit there, and Normani blocked it so that Lauren couldn't get any information from it. I know all that, but now I'm telling you to tell Normani to unblock it. I spoke slowly, and then glanced at where Lauren was, still sleeping peacefully. We are going to lose all the money. Have you gone mad? We'll lose it now, but we'll gain a lot more later. Don't even think about it. You know that with every passing day it's getting harder to take money from that asshole. I will not lose this money. Dinah, do what I'm asking, okay? Can I know the reason why? Not now. You're doing this for her, right? Of course not. We just need to take a step back, and then move forward again. I tried to sound convincing. Do you really think that you can fool me, Camilla? You're doing this for that deputy. Can't you realize that all this is a mistake? You'll put everything on the line for a damn fleeting romance. Shit, nothing will go wrong. Do it once and for all. -1 exclaimed in a louder and angry tone. I will not do that, Carla, Dinah exclaimed from the other side of the line. Yes, you will. I want that laptop unblocked before dawn. It's an order. I hung up the phone, seeing Lauren shifting on the bed. I walked slowly towards the room and put the phone on the nightstand. I thought you were sleeping. I am and I'm not. I smiled at the sleepy way she spoke. Lauren was visibly exhausted from all that had happened that day. I brought the cigarette to my lips and gave a soft drag as I walked towards her. I got on the bed slowly and accommodated myself on the deputy's delicious body in a way that I was sitting on her hips. Lauren was completely naked, just like me, except for my almost transparent robe. I stared into her attentive eyes and lifted my head to release the smoke into the air. Were you talking to someone? She asked, then yawned. I felt my heart falter in that moment. Did she hear something? No, I was just smoking. I'm sorry for waking you. It's okay, I can sleep easily, she said with a sleepy and amused chuckle. I can see that. Lauren stared at me for a long moment, and I allowed myself to stare at her the same way. The woman had an incredibly surreal beauty. I'd venture to say that she was one of the most beautiful women that my eyes had the opportunity to contemplate. I brought the cigarette to my lips again, to give one last drag. I pulled the smoke deeply, and when I removed the small cigarette from my lips, I leaned my head forward so that my lips brushed over Lauren's. She remained still, when slowly I blew the smoke into her mouth. The woman sucked everything as if savoring that in the best way possible. I felt one of her hands rest on my chin, where she held and pulled to take my lips in an intense kiss and full of arousal. I woke up to Lauren's murmurs on the phone. Her voice sounded loud and seemingly excited. I sat up slowly on the bed. Seeing the woman enter my room while she picked up her clothes scattered on the floor. What are you doing, Lauren? I need to go to the precinct. Did something happen? I asked, somewhat confused due to being sleepy. I was trying to keep calm as to not get into a nasty argument with Dinah. We had our disagreements sometimes, but in the end we always patched things up. We were like sisters. We took care of each other in the most pure and beautiful way, even not having the same blood running in our veins. But that didn't change the fact that a lot of the time I felt like choking her. After covering her face with kisses, of course. And what is the reality now? My voice echoed in the room, drawing Normani's gaze, who remained silent just listening to the argument. You fell in love with someone you shouldn't. You fell in love with the person who can end your life, and mine too. Dinah's words hit me hard. Facing the reality in which strangely I had fallen in love for someone was scary. I didn't fall in love, I didn't allow myself to. I've handled any kind of emotional involvement like a weakness during all these years, leaving my life marked by rational goals and distractions like sex, parties, and booze. But in the midst of a thoroughly calculated plan, Lauren arrived. Don't speak nonsense, I let out quickly. Camilla, listen to me. That woman is a mistake in your life, there's no way for it to work out. I took a deep breath, feeling my head buzzing with so many thoughts. It's no big deal, it won't mess up our plans. I remained firm. It's no big deal, we lost $5 million to make your little girlfriend happy. You practically handed it to her on a silver platter, even taking her to Switzerland, you did. The Carla from a few months ago would never have done that, ever. She exclaimed as she walked from one side to the other. I remained in silence. I knew that Dinah was right, I knew that all that was too risky. And that with just a misstep, I could put everything on the line. Your problem is the money? I asked angrily, you want money? You'll have it. Camilla, she murmured. Normani, I want you to go back to the precinct. After 24 hours they'll notice our disappearance. I'll leave Lauren and Christopher in another warehouse on the opposite side of town. Give the idea of tracing the phones, find them and release them. What are you doing? Dinah asked confused. I took a deep breath and looked at the woman. I'm going to ask for my ransom, Dinah. We'll ask for $10 million. And they both need to be free to get the money. That's very risky. Keep them both properly knocked out, I said as I stared at Dinah, and then her girlfriend, and Normani, don't forget the details. Yes, ma'am. But first, let's see our third detainee, I said with a devilish grin. If you like the dubbing of the continuation of the series Checkmate, leave a comment under the video. This will be an incentive to continue voicing. Tell me your preferences, which series is faster to dub and in what language. Thanks for subscribing to my channel.